right, welcome back. Now, joining us for our QTV Breakfast show today, I have Xavier Mtale, who is a motivational speaker, a prolific author, and mentor. He has successfully undergone leadership training, who's an author, pardon me, and therefore he possesses leadership skills, knowledge, wisdom, influence, and confidence. Now, he is the writer of a book called Overtaking Time, Moving at the Speed of Light. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Fortress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, tell us more about Xavier Mtale.
Okay, just like you did in the introduction, actually I'm an author. That is my fourth book. I just wrote it the end of last year. Actually, I'm working on a new book. It will be released very soon in few weeks time. Basically, what motivated me to write that book, Overtaking Time, is that you know what, Fortress, the entity of time is very much important. People have got this notion of saying, I'll probably do this when I'm at a certain age.
Yes.
And when you look at success, in the equation of success, time is not in the equation of success. It's not necessarily that when someone lives long, they will eventually make it. You find that there are people that are 90 years old and yet they are still beggars and they are broke. And there are people that are 18 years and millionaires. So therefore, there are some things that we can start doing now that we don't want to wait till a little bit older.
Yes.
You find that right now, you have ventured into this journalism thing. There's some time that you wanted to do this thing, but some people are telling you probably, no, Fortress, you can do this maybe when you're 30 years old, and you find that you are missing out a lot. So actually, that book is just daring people to start tapping their greatness and start doing something right now, because time is not on our side. Usually, we don't know how long we'll live on the planet. Therefore, it's high time that people should start tapping into what's resonate within themselves. You find that some people really want to compose music, they want to write a book, they want to start doing music, they want to start doing makeup, fashion. But there's this notion that society has brought up in us to say, no, it's fine, you can still do this when you're a little bit older, later, but we don't know if you get to that time, okay? There are people that were here yesterday, but today they're not there, they're dead. So it's high time that we tap into the greatness now. That's the idea of a book, yeah.
Okay. Now, what inspired you? Like, what event led you to say overtaking time?
Okay, it's the same thing that I was just earlier mentioned. You find that the schools that we attend, the churches that we go to, the friends that we surround ourselves with, all these entities have shaped how we believe about ourselves. You find that the society has got a way of telling us, okay, if you study this course, it promises financial stability. This is a safe place for you. This is a safe course for you. So the society has chosen our path. We've been muffled and shaped by the society. So what has led me to write that book, Overtaking Time, is I've seen, especially in the young people, you find that they are still just doing nothing. They are still just stuck in the illusion of saying, okay, it shall come to pass that I shall do this. It's not a guarantee that if I can just live long on earth and I will eventually make it. No, that's not a guarantee, because it's not how long we live, but how effective we live. So people would really want to just better sit down and do nothing about their life, but yet their life is moving and years are going. So it's high time that everyone wants to be great.
Yes.
Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to be famous. But the equalizing factor, the common denominator is that time is moving and death should be a motivator. Me personally, my greatest motivation is death, because knowing that anytime I can die helps me, empowers me to do more. Even your Fortress, knowing that you can drop dead even today or tomorrow, you find that should be a factor enough to push you further and command more from you. Because people have got this idea of saying, okay, I'm still here for another 8 years, 100 years, so that makes them feel lazy. Knowing that I'll die anytime, I'll be deposited in the cemetery should help you even do more every day, because just being alive is a fact that we still have a lot of work to do. As long as we are still breathing, we've got a lot to do in us. In the table of contents here, I also mentioned things like it's us to do it. We are born with the responsibility. It's not someone else. The fact that we showed up in this particular time of history is an indication that there's something that we have to do. There's a question that this generation has to ask, that you, Fortress, has to answer. There's a hand that you have to help. You have to stretch out to people that I need. So every one of us has been born with an assignment. That is why we've been born in this particular moment in time, because it's something that is so valuable that we need to offer to this generation. That's why we've been born at this particular time of history.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, now according to you, how can one move at the speed of light?
Speed of light simply entails that there's one quote from one great man who said, um, it's not how long we live, but how effective we live. Okay, so Martin Luther King, one of the greatest mentors that has lived of all times, he said it's not how long we live, but how effective we live. So moving at the speed of light entails that you get more things done than usual. For example, I remember when I wanted to start writing my books, because that is my fourth book. I started writing my books in 2018. That was when I was in second year in my university. Then some of the lecturers told me, why starting this time writing a book? You're just in your early 20s. Why can't you write your book when you're done with school? Maybe when you're in your 30s, you still got a long time to go.
Yes.
When you look at that from a lecture that you look up to, it sounds as though it is quite okay, a good advice, but really that is a toxic advice, because we have to start getting things done today. We are here today, tomorrow we'll be going. So we don't know how much we'll live. So moving at the speed of light simply tells you that if you want to be great, you have to get started. You don't first become great then you get started. It's vice versa. You have to start doing something today for you to be great tomorrow. So if people want to start being active when they have got a sense of responsibility, when responsibility has been laid to them, then they will fail miserably. We have to start doing something today for us to be great tomorrow. So moving at the speed of light tells you to be focused with what you want to do. Then you have to identify your passion, because when you identify your passion intensifies focus. When you know this is what I'm good at, as much as we're into media in this scene, there are some people that cannot manage being in front of camera lights and talk to the nation and viewers out there, but you, that has been deposited on you. So therefore, because this is your passion, so it helps you to ignite yourself, and you're able to get up early in the morning to say, I'm going to speak before the nation, right? So if you can identify your passion, meaning even achieving your objectives, it won't be like a huge happy battle to climb. Okay, there are people that are been dumped into things that are not part of who they are, then they find it to be difficult for them. If you get me today, you put me to be a presenter here, it will be difficult for me because it does not resonate with who I am. So for me, writing is what I am, and speaking to the public. So therefore, when we identify what we are good at, then we try to center our life around that same venture. Then it is easy for us to flourish in that field.
All right. Okay, now, are there any stages to attain this?
Meaning writing or
moving at the speed of light?
Yes, actually, one thing that a lot of people are missing out is that people don't want to seek mentorship. I believe the quickest way to learn something is to learn from people that have gone ahead of us.
Okay.
I believe whatever we want to do in life, whatever we want to achieve, whichever place we want to travel to, there are people that have gone ahead of us. You find that young people, there's a chapter in that book where I said closing the generational conflict. The problem we have for Trace is that we find that the older generation, they have got resources. Us, the younger generation, we've got skills and knowledge. So we need to close up the gap whereby the older generation, they're able to trust us young people, then us, we're able to provide the skills. Now the problem is that young people don't want to learn from the old, and the old don't feel that they trust the young generation. So it leaves a discrepancy amongst them. So what will help us as young people is to look out to people that have gone ahead of us. Because what someone has learned in 50 years, I can learn it in 10 minutes when they just provide the mentorship to me. The problem that we have in this nation is that young people are not readily available to mentorship. My first book, Mentorship, The Gateway to Uncommon Success, I emphasize the point that whatever we want to do in life, we just have to learn from people that have gone ahead of us. And it is easy for us, very much easy. In fact, mentorship is the quickest way to learn anything.
All right. Now, what advice do you have for the young people out there who think they have the privilege of time?
Okay, the advice I have for young people is just for them to know that there's something that the Lord has put in them. Everyone that you see on the planet has been born for a particular assignment. I wrote in that book to say your success fortress or your failure affects people that are connected to you. There are people that are connected to you directly or indirectly, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your friends out there. So when you fail at something, it affects them. When you succeed, it affects them as well. So every young person should know that they've got an assignment to do. If I become, maybe I derail from my assignment, then I venture into bad style of living, drugs, then I drop out of school, my family will suffer because their lives are attached to me. There are people that you're supposed to look out for, your siblings. So if you fail, then their lives also will be affected. So every young person should know that they have a sense of responsibility that is laid upon them. That's why that should be a reason enough for them not to live a careless life, because all of us we've been given, there's something that the Lord has deposited in us that we need to bring out to the society and to the nation at large.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, as you were writing this book, what target audience were you targeting?
My target audience usually is young people, even the older people that I feel like, okay, they've messed up during their youth of age, they can still learn from that book, because I believe the greatest room in the man's life is a room for improvement. It's never too late to improve. Someone can stop a bad habit today, someone can start writing a book today, someone can start producing their own music today, someone can open their big business today. So usually the young people that have known that, okay, I've been born for a reason, then that book will help them, really, to help them much. My target audience usually is young people, the youth, because we know that youths are leaders of today, not tomorrow. Usually there's this social where they tell us to say youths are leaders of tomorrow. That's not necessarily true. That's an error, because as soon as you know that fortress where you are right now, you're a leader, even if you're not given a title as a leader, but you are a leader, you've got responsibilities around you, it will help you even intensify your focus and also target your objectives.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so what last words do you have to say for the viewers?
Okay, so to the viewers and the nation at large that are watching, I just want to emphasize to say, even as much as we've started this year, 2021, there's still much that we can do. If we messed up last year, if there are things that we didn't achieve, still, as much as we're breathing, we've got the gift of life, we can still pursue that and eventually get what we want out of life. It's possible, much possible.
Okay,
Yes.
Sylvia, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
All right, stick around right here on the QTV Breakfast. We have more after the break.